Welcome everybody to our discussion today about the future of our beloved program. My name is Mish and I'm the program coordinator here in Victoria, but I have got some great guests with me who are going to be co-hosting. So in the matching green t-shirt in the corner is Kerry. Give us a wave, Kerry. So you will know if you're receiving and reading, which I'm sure you all are, my weekly communications, that Kerry has been stepping up to manage the Strength for Life program while I am taking some time to get the education and put it online. And so that's really exciting, but Kerry is the person who you see at the end of lots of emails, organising lots of stuff. I consider her to be my right-hand woman. The other program coordinator, Camilla, give us a wave, Camilla. She does my job in New South Wales, and we have been working very closely together over the last year and a half, and it's always great when you work with someone who's a good sort, which is definitely sums you up, Cam. And then last but not least, and maybe many of you perhaps wouldn't know Tina. Give us a wave, Tina. Tina is our CEO at COTA Victoria, and we have been working very, very closely with what we're about to tell you. So I invited Tina to come on and explain some of the exciting opportunities that are happening for 2021. So just a reminder for those people who have joined us, we would love to see your faces. However, if you feel uncomfortable about being recorded, that's absolutely fine too. But yeah, so I'm going to share my screen now. And I obviously didn't start at the start. Okay, here we go. So before we talk about anything else, I would like to acknowledge the traditional owners of the land and acknowledge their leaders past, present and emerging. So if you could just pop yourself on mute if you have not already, it'll just help with recording so that for people's enjoyment when they listen back if they're unable to make it today. So where my feet are is in the land of the Wurundjeri people of the Kulin Nation. So I acknowledge them. So as many of you know, we had a grant that started at early in 2019 from Sports Oz, which enabled us to work with the model that was in South Australia for the Strength for Life, and we were involved with all the states were WA, South Australia, Tasmania, ACT and New South Wales. But our grant is finishing at the end of December, and so that has led us to have a number of reviews about our options for moving forward. And this is where I'm going to hand over to Tina. So if you want to put yourself on speaker view, you'll be able to see Tina when she speaks.
Thanks, Mish. And I've just realised too, I've got the neighbours. This is the joys of working from home. I've just started trimming trees by the sounds of all that noise going on outside. So I do apologise if you're hearing tree chopping down activities and chainsaws going on in the background. It's always the way. It was nice and quiet when we started, and as soon as Mish introduced me, they've started up. So we'll see how we go. So thanks, Mish. Yes, thank you all for coming along today. I think we thought it would be important to have this conversation with you in our face-to-face version. The funding is coming to an end at the end of this year in December. We've been working over the last 18 months at looking at a national program. All of the cotas, as Mish mentioned, that were involved in developing a national program and what would suit the national program. Many of you have heard of the Strength for Life brand and have worked within and launching the Strength for Life brand. Which is what the consortium of all of the cotas agreed would be a great brand to see how it would fit within each of our states. As we're coming to the end, we are in a position now to decide and to be able to pick and choose as to what elements that have been developed within that national program, what is going to suit our state and our providers. So if you want to click to the next. So one of the concerns that did come up with using Strength for Life as a brand name, as Mish mentioned, this is a brand that has been developed and owned by COTA South Australia. And it was a brand that all of the consortium partners had looked at as a brand to be taken to nationally. Then COVID hit. And as we know, during this COVID time, everybody has had to make some adjustments, and we're now looking at a new world. So one of the things that did definitely come up during COVID, particularly for Victoria and New South Wales, we were probably as states were most affected by the COVID lockdowns. And as you can all tell me more than I can tell you, you were not able to, gyms were closed, you were not allowed to exercise, we weren't allowed to gather even with our families, let alone with friends in an exercise type environment or in any social environment. So we looked at trialling an online version. That online version was successful, and it is something that we would like to be able to develop further. Now we've got it here as a key concern because South Australia, unlike New South Wales and Victoria, were not so affected by the pandemic in terms of shutting down and not continuing with their activities, and have made the decision that an online version doesn't suit their brand and the way that they run their Strength for Life program. So we are not permitted to use Strength for Life in an online version. The next one.
And just a reminder to pop yourself on mute, everybody. Thanks.
So the other thing that had come out a little bit more, and we did give it a good go, and many of you on the Zoom today have sort of been working with us in looking at how Strength for Life as a product is to be delivered. It is a brand and a program that is very reliant on compliance. And the way that it is run in South Australia, it made it very difficult for us in Victoria and New South Wales to really see how that would fit within what our providers and the way that our participants wanted to engage in this sort of activity, in this sort of program. So that was another concern with that particular program that we've taken into consideration. Next one. The other thing that has come to light too is that the Strength for Life program is funded by the South Australian government, and that funding is due to conclude in 2022, and there, as we all know, it's a new environment, and there is no certainty that funding will continue. And if that funding does not continue, then there may not be a program by the name of Strength for Life. So we sort of took that into consideration as well as we're coming to the end. We also noted too that many in Victoria who've been using the Living Longer, Living Stronger brand for many, many, many years made the decision not to shift to the new brand of Strength for Life. So we've taken that on board as well, and really sort of got an understanding as to why that has been. We did have a very strong brand in Living Longer, Living Stronger. We thought we'd give it a red hot go with the Strength for Life brand, and as we can see here, some of the concerns has meant that it maybe is not the best fit for Victoria or New South Wales at this point. Next slide. So we made the decision to not go back to Living Longer, Living Stronger, but to reinvigorate the Living Longer, Living Stronger brand. It's meant that we are able to be a little bit more flexible in the way that you, the providers, we can work with you about how you deliver it to older people in the way that you want to deliver it. So we do have the option of a face-to-face and an online. We've come up with a new brand, as you can see here, and it's been displayed on both, modelled today on both Kerry and Mish with our new t-shirts, nice and light and bright, and incorporating the colours of COTA, which is the oranges and the greens and the yellows. So this is probably more in keeping with the way that we do things in Victoria and New South Wales, and the way that you and our participants, the older people, have said that they would prefer to participate in an exercise and a strength building program. And that's it. I will hand back over to Mish.
Okay, thanks, Tina. And I'm sure this has raised lots of questions for you, but just hang on to the end. We've got the end of the session dedicated to answer your questions. But we are actually really, really excited about this. One of the things that I've seen, as many of you know, before we went to lockdown, I did try to visit at least 1 or 2 facilities a week, and I did notice.
I'll put the headphones in.
Sorry, if there's someone, just check that you're on mute. Thank you. So I did go out, and often the program was referred to as the COTA program, so we were having a real range of names of the program, but the one thing that is running through the backbone of the program is the COTA brand. So I personally am very excited to have it so that it looks and relates to it. But let's have a look about how we can support you to grow your business. So we aim to support you in your business by building on that reputation that we've had for nearly 20 years, and also build on COTA's reputation. So as the leading advocacy body for older Australians, it seems that it seems a real waste if we don't really hook into that with our branding and with the name of our program. And we certainly, everyone has heard of Living Longer, Living Stronger, certainly in Victoria and New South Wales, are new to come on board, but we really do benefit from building on the reputation. With Strength for Life, as Tina pointed out, one of the key components was a very high compliance to how the program was delivered, where if we go back to the original research, it is a strength and balance training program for older adults, and that's progressive strength training. These are if you're a fitness exercise professional, then this is your bread and butter. You know how this works. That's how we get stronger. We believe that there are more than one way to skin a cat. And you have the opportunity, as long as you adhere to the principles of strength and balance training, then it shouldn't be up to us to say you must deliver in such a specific way, because there's also such a wide range of providers, from small boutique gyms to big box gyms, to community houses, to facilities attached to health services. So we really want to stand back, and I like to call it the Uber effect, you know, and Airbnb, is that we assume people are doing the right thing. Rather than having 10 million rules, we just assume people are doing the right thing. So there's going to be a lot more freedom of delivery of program, as long as we keep to the essence of progressive strength training. And of course, the online delivery of program. Now, face-to-face has enormous benefits for us. However, we could be looking at more lockdowns in the future. We certainly, a lot of the feedback we've been getting that come through the help desk at COTA is a lot of older adults still feel very uncomfortable about being in gym-like settings. So we believe that this has a real place in our program. It also has potential for regional Victoria as well. So there's a huge amount of potential with the online delivery, and so being able to incorporate that into your business, should you wish, would be an option. And again, instead of having a whole new name, it would all be part of the same brand. We are aiming to reduce the paperwork and compliance obligations. So we have spent a long time, we've had to change all the agreements to go for Strength for Life, and during this time, both in New South Wales and Tasmania, there have been, and here in Victoria, certain glitches that just didn't work. And so we believe that we have been able to, with just stepping back a little bit and having not such a heavy compliance and rules and regulations, that we are going to reduce not only your paperwork but our paperwork as well. So I do believe that is a benefit for everyone. So some other key opportunities that that you possibly might not know about, that I want to share with you, is that in the split, shall we say, from Strength to Life, Tasmania and New South Wales will be joining with us, so in Victoria. So we have a collective team helping to run the program, and of course this is significant, especially because New South Wales and Victoria are the two largest states. The things that we do on a state level helps you, because we collectively can grow the brand. So while we have been in lockdown, I managed to secure a grant from the Victoria Together website, and which is, we have been, and this is a photo in the corner here of out of the photo shoot. There's Snezhana Pezanj. You might have seen her if you've been to some of our online meetings. She teamed up with Lisa Westlake, and we have created 15 videos that are going to be all with the Living Longer, Living Stronger brands, new logos, the t-shirts, and they're going to be sitting on the Victoria Together website. And there's also looking like a larger opportunity there to get more content, to have a content rich, so an ability to reach more older Australians and bring them back to your programs. And the Smile Project is going to be launched next year, but again, these have had the funding and the promotional push from Victoria Together website and their comms. It's going to hugely benefit us in 2021. Channel 31, this is Carol. She's got a show called Over 50 So What. I'm about to be interviewed for that, but we have already interviewed a participant. This will be, and we will be having an excerpt on her show about living longer, living stronger, and also some advertising going out. So we know a lot of our key market watch Channel 31. So again, this is another opportunity that will draw new people to your programs. And then I just want to hand it over to Camilla about some exciting stuff that's happening in New South Wales too, because I'm well aware that we have some New South Wales people here in this call.
Thank you, Mish. So so for those of you, I saw a few of you pop in from New South Wales, we're really excited about this. At first it was like, oh my God, we're changing the name from a pretty awesome name, but this is an opportunity, as anything, for PR and marketing, and going out to all our audiences and really tell them about this, which again is an opportunity to drive people into your programs. Also, the fact that we are aligning more with the COTA brand is really critical and something we want to play on more. I've been working on a project together with Arthritis New South Wales, the Heart Foundation and Diabetes New South Wales around a project which is called Stay Strong to Keep Moving. And that's really about getting the message out to the community through our joint messaging, our joint voices, and the power of branding around the importance of strength training. This isn't highlighted enough. There's so much about the 30 a day and we should keep active, but there really isn't enough. People don't know how important strength training is. And I'm sure most of you know, in terms of how many people over 50 plus, it's about 11% of the population that does any kind of strength training. That's not enough in order for us to ensure that the people and us as we age stay independent and strong. So this is really important, the power of working together. We've got some other exciting opportunities. I'm working with the New South Wales Falls Prevention and Active Aging Network, and certainly this is again around as COTA, but also about the brand and Strength for Life now being living longer, living stronger, and really align with a lot of the messaging that we're talking to in our communities. Like Mish was saying about the online version, we've got a number of programs that are running, and I hope that some of those will stay, and I'll be working with those providers about how we can try and promote that further out to regional and rural populations, because this is really an area that is challenging for people in our states because they're so big and far reached. So I think this is something we can work on much more, and I'm pretty excited about that. I could talk for ages, but I know this is time constraint, so I will be following up with my New South Wales providers as a bit of a Christmas message, sending out this link for those that are not on board, and also talking about what the future looks like, which is bright. I think 2021 is going to be a year where this really starts to gain strength, particularly because it's still a fairly new program in New South Wales. So thank you, Mish.
Thank you. Thanks, Camilla. So now I preempted a couple of questions, and I'm going to ask Carrie to speak to the first two. So.
Thanks, Mish. I just wanted to let everyone know, for those who just recently purchased the Strength for Life t-shirts, appreciate you wanting to come on board with those shirts. We have actually organised some replacement shirts for those who purchased. So they're actually in the post right now. So you should receive them, well, knowing what Australia Post is like at the moment, maybe Monday, I would say. And also the agreements, as Mish said, we have made some adjustments to these to make them a little bit easier to understand and agreeable to your delivery. So if we could get those who have already returned their agreements to sign some new ones for us, if that's okay, I'll be sending those out very soon. And we'll also be sending some the new look agreements out to the providers that haven't actually come back on board just yet because of the pandemic, but hopefully we'll get you signed up soon. These will take you through to the end of June 2021.
Great. Okay, I'm going to stop my share so I can see everybody here. Now, if you want to use your reactions or raise your hand if you have a question, or if you want to put a question into the chat box, I'm happy to read it out, and either Kerry, Camilla, Tina, or myself will do our best to answer any concerns or any questions you might have. Thank you to Manel. She has to leave, but hopefully you have to leave at 1:30, but hopefully you have received all the information, and certainly reach out if you have any questions whatsoever. Yeah. Does anybody have any comments or any questions? Nothing is too silly. If you are thinking it, probably someone else is as well. Perhaps you would like to let us know how you feel about the changes. I'm interested to know if you are.
Julia's got a
Yeah,
question.
great,
Yeah.
Julia. Julia,
Actually,
welcome.
I think the I'm not going to say regression, that's not a good word to use, but I actually think the living longer, living stronger logo is, to me, it's always been a better name than Strength for Life. That's just my personal opinion. So I'm actually glad that it's reverted back to that.
Oh, great. Yeah, thank you for that. It does have a lot of it has a lot of nostalgia points, shall we say, and the brand has a lot of love in Victoria, absolutely. Clint has asked, does this mean that Tier 1 and Tier 2 structure has been removed? Absolutely not. I think that was such a benefit of what we learned from the Strength for Life. So we're actually able to take the best things from that program and the things that we know already work and pull it together. So the Tier 1 and Tier 2 will still remain the same. But great question, Clint. And I didn't. Yeah, so good to have all these questions coming out. Anybody else? Any questions or any thoughts about how this might be for you? So Jen has said, what do you mean by a flexible delivery? That's such a great question, Jen, and thank you for asking this question. What I have found with traveling around the different sites, and I haven't been for a while, but online is a flexible delivery. I saw really great programs that were making older adults stronger and increasing their balance, which is what it says on the box. That is our goal and that is our aim, but it doesn't have to be done in such a formatted way as Strength for Life. So did you want to speak to this, Cam?
Yeah, I just want to say, so there's certain elements of the program which are very similar. People still have the initial assessment because that was important as part of the original research. People wanted to meet with a trainer, and they also want to know that the trainer has specific training to understand their conditions and what they might be working with. And for a lot of people, it can be quite confronting going into a gym environment. So that part of it is still there. It's more the fact that Strength for Life is very much about everyone has to have a completely different program. And it was very much that you can't have people doing progress, regress options, which is one thing that we had a lot of people coming back to us saying, well, we can still ensure that people are progressing and having a progressive strength and balance program, but it may be that quite a majority of the class are doing similar exercises, and then we're progressing through that way. Absolutely, we need to continue to take into consideration that some of the participants are going to be very different end of the spectrum in terms of their abilities, but it's not as stringent as that each of those 10 participants have got completely different programs. And I think that's really important, and one of the things that came up both in terms of the in-person classes, but also when people were delivering online, that just wasn't feasible to have people doing completely different things, particularly when you have them on a screen. So I think that is one of the main things. There's still a lot of the same that are very a strong element to the fact that it's progressive, and we are both. It's really critical that we have the balance element in it, and that's why we align so strongly with the health service, and why we can have the referral pathways in through the different programs that health deliver, and again, strength obviously is critical for a longevity, and the way that we can ensure that people have the strength to do what they want to do. So I think that's kind of wraps up some of the things. I hope that people do that.
And also just with that, you know, your providers in New South Wales, Camilla, are only just starting out, but for some of our providers in Victoria, they have been going for 15 plus years. And they have devised just over time a program that fits with their community, their environment, everything there, you know, and they are still delivering that balance training. They're still delivering progressive strength training, but they've, you know, manipulated the program to suit their environment. So, you know, I do believe that in the future, you know, 10 years down the track, you know, that is a natural progression, or not even 10 years down the track, a natural progression of doing something all the time that, you know, in your environment. Now, did you have something to say, Julia? Yeah, sure. Unmute yourself.
Yeah. So I know that with my business, and it's actually, I've been running my business for about 15 years now, my own personal business. But I know that this year has been, it's been revamped in a completely different way. And I still have a lot of people who are really quite apprehensive to coming back to face-to-face classes. Like I have resumed face-to-face, and most people have. But I found what's worked really well is during the whole COVID scenario, I actually did a lot of videos. So they're on like a Zoom bank, and people who don't actually want to do face-to-face classes at the moment can actually go to that Zoom bank, and the classes might be like, you know, half an hour or 45 minutes long, but they can pick and choose whether they want to do a balance class, whether they want to do a strength class, whether they want to do a more cardio class. And the uptake to those classes is still actually really quite high, to my surprise. Yeah. And even some of the people who are coming to my face-to-face classes, if they can't make a class, you know, once a week or whatever, they'll actually go back to that bank of classes, and in their own time will actually take what they need from those classes. So it's been, the evolution this year's been really interesting.
And totally, and we cannot put this genie back in the box.
No.
You know, how we deliver it. But, you know, just seeing that, you know, I think about my role and my time, and Camilla's the same, and Kerry's the same. You know, should my time, and which is a limited resource for, you know, working in the program, be put into compliance, or should it be put into greater projects that brings attention to what we do, to bring people to your door? And I kind of see, you know, that my role is a relationship to support you and your business, and train and make sure that, you know, you've got a great program running, you know, through our brand, but that there's so much potential out there now, and, you know, it's about harnessing all that outside stuff and bringing it to you, you know, so you feel real value for money about, you know, wearing our brand and delivering the program. Any other?
I think, again, also just aligning with the COTA mission about improving the futures as people, as they age, and that's all of us who all age, is really critical in this space. And we can do that through a number of different ways. It doesn't have to be quite as stringent, and that's kind of where it came from. And all of you are professionals, and as long as we are working in a safe and effective manner in terms of the program we deliver, so strength and balance, then this is how we've sort of made the adaptations. So absolutely, it's about listening to a lot of you guys and about what people want, but also sticking to the evidence and making sure that it stays within that progressive nature of delivery.
Mm-hmm. And just to let you know as well that for those people who got their Strength for Life instructor accreditation, that is still completely valid. for Living Longer, Living Stronger. And yeah, I am incredibly excited about the earlier, oh my God, this year, which seems like 10 million years ago, you know, I worked on revamping and rewriting the education. We only got to deliver it once in Victoria, but it has been delivered a number of times in New South Wales. So we've really worked together with this, but we're going to have a lot of this put online, and partnering with other organisations to bring more education to you in this space. So your reaccreditation might not be just doing the same thing again and again, but, you know, expanding out the things that you might be interested in with conditions that your clients might come up with. Yeah, but we'll have more about that in the new year. Are there any other thoughts, questions, concerns? And certainly if they come to you, you know, at 3 a.m., which I'm a big person who has that, the 3 a.m. thought, I recommend you, you can either flick Camilla an email in New South Wales, or Luke in Tasmania, or myself or Kerry here in Victoria, and we will do our best to answer your concerns.
I've got one more just exciting sort of news, is that we've got a photo shoot tomorrow, and the second two photo shoots, and I think that's something that's worth mentioning. We are working with more diverse populations, so we will be able to have images that captures, you know, the one-on-one of marketing is that we should really represent the people in our community, and that's certainly what we're doing. So I'm excited about when they're released.
Yeah, so that will be shared for us all. So there is real benefit in partnering with New South Wales and with Tasmania too, to make the most of each of our skills and opportunities and share those amongst ourselves. Tina, did you have any final thoughts that you wanted to share?
I do. So it's really around, you know, we are trying we are delivering a program that is relevant to your business. We are certainly not the ones that are working with the participants and with older people in this sense. So we see our role very much as supporting you in your business, because then the knock-on effect of that is that older people are supported, they're stronger, they're living better quality of life. So the impact of what you do is massive in the community, and we want to expand that. So I think this approach sits really well with us. Sits really well with Tasmania and New South Wales and Victoria, and the way that that you've told us that you want or need support from us. And so we are really keen at any point to be getting any feedback from you about what it is that you need, and what you need from us, and what your participants need. So I think it is a start of something not new, but sort of new. It's a new direction. It's a new world that we're walking into that's very unknown. We still don't know when we'll be able to return fully to face-to-face, and in Victoria, certainly when we can do that without masks. That's something I'm really looking forward to. Getting a little bit over that mask, particularly as it gets a bit hotter. But I think for us, we've got a new brand, or a new image with our brand, a new way of doing things, and a new way of engaging with you to make sure that you've got everything that you need from us in order to support your participants in their strength and in their training. So I think from us, certainly talking on behalf of my colleagues in both Tasmania and New South Wales. That's our goal. That's what we're trying to achieve here. And so any feedback that you have for us is welcomed.
Absolutely. So there's been a message from Jen about our timelines for the name change. So yeah, we've had a consultative process around the rebranding to make sure that it really helps with those people who might be visually challenged, etc. So, you know, once we agreed on that, our next step was to consult with you and to share this with you, our providers and instructors. But now that we have, you know, gone through this meeting, it will be all hands on deck to change over our websites and have that communication going out. But you'll see the communication going out between, you know, Channel 31 and with Victoria Together, with all having the new branding as well. Very, very exciting that that is all coming. So, and Kerry, and we are having the marketing all redone. So we're hoping that our posters and brochures will be coming shortly, but certainly, you know, it will be an easy rebrand for you in terms of like this funny old year that we've had, new face for 2021. If you are interested in getting a t-shirt, so the other thing that we've done is we have set up an account with Embroid Me, which means that if you go to the Embroid Me and for the details, I really recommend just messaging Kerry. She'll be able to give you the details, and it means that you can take any shirt in, and it costs, can you confirm, is it $7 or $8, Kerry?
It was $7.70 for the logo. For
the logo. So, you know, we don't aim to make money when we get t-shirts sorted, but it is really labor intensive on our behalf, and also really expensive for you because you have to buy the shirts that the printing company. So if you have a favorite shirt, and again, I mean, we've chosen the line, but it looks lovely on dark gray, it looks lovely on white. You know, this is what we're saying about having a bit more freedom, that you can take your favorite shirt and have the logo sewn on, and you know, just so much easier for your team to do that rather than ordering through us and that being quite a administrative heavy process. And we also have someone in South Australia in New South Wales, who you'll be able to go to as well there, which I'll make sure the details get given to Camilla for you. Well, if there are no other questions, and certainly as just reiterate what Tina has said, you know, we do welcome your thoughts, feedbacks, concerns, anything that you want to share with us. I believe communication and listening to people is key for us to benefit from having a collective that we do to our goal. Yeah, you know, it's important that we listen to your concerns. So if you don't have anything else, is that your cat, Julia? I often have that. Oh, he's a handsome cat. So thank you so much for your time. I always appreciate you giving us an hour of your time, or in this case 45 minutes. But if there aren't any other questions or concerns or queries, then I think we should enjoy another 15 minutes extra in our day. How about that? Do we get a thumbs up? Yeah. Absolutely. Thank you so much, everybody, for coming along today. This will, I'll get the recording out to the other program coordinators to share out. And if I don't see you in Zoom or face to face, I wish you all a very, very Merry Christmas and enjoyable summer. And here's hoping for a 2021 that looks nothing like 2020. Okay, everybody.
Thanks, Mish.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye.